So we are at a transformational moment in delivering the Almaden Country Day School Fisher Event Center. And it's a great opportunity to reflect on the key moments and the decisions that got us here. We began this journey back in 2013. So with me are trustee and parent of an ACDS alumna, Jay Walstrum, and project architect and parent of two ACDS alumni, Marty Hochroth. So Jay, can you talk about what started the journey back in 2013?
Absolutely, Oli. And my gosh, did we start it that long ago? Oh my gosh. As you know, Dr. Jorgensen, I love dreaming big. Dreaming big is create a vision, create a dream, build confidence for people who are becoming inspired. And those people are parents and families and friends and alumni, the staff, the administration, everybody around the campus. And to watch us to be able to create this journey and get people inspired and get them on board. It's just been a great event for me, a great whole journey for me. The key ingredient, though, was having fun. The key ingredient was enjoying ourselves. And I think the biggest thing, and this is one of the things that I didn't know where to start, to have really smart people like Marty help really lay it out for what we had to do, when we had to do it, what we had to worry about first and second and third. And to me, that was a huge learning experience for me. And that's exactly what I was hoping to get out of it. But seeing it, come to fruition was beautiful. So I'll turn it over to Marty, because I think, I just can't believe how much I learned from him and how great it was to be a part of that.
Yeah, Marty, can you talk about what engaged you in the project? What attracted you to take this on with us?
Well, I think the primary thing is I'm a member of the ACDS family. As you mentioned, I had both a daughter and a son who went through, and they both really treasured the time that they spent at ACDS. So I think the second reason was I've had over 20 years experience in designing educational spaces. And this was one of the few places where I thought I could really give back to the campus that had given so much to my family and my kids. So this was, this started out as a labor of love, and it is still a labor of love for me.
Thanks, Marty. Jay, when we began this together, you used to say repeatedly, you had a saying, this campus is about more than bricks and mortar. Tell us what you mean by that.
Anybody can go and get bricks and mortar and build something, build a foundation, build whatever they want and create that building. There's a teaching style at ACDS that I don't know how to articulate it. And Dr. Jorgensen, you can do a better job than I can, why it is the way it is. But I see it in my daughter. I see how she has blossomed, grown up, and become a really contributing person. And so the intention here was to create a series of buildings, a whole campus that helps support the way the faculty delivers that confidence, whether it's on a stage, on a volleyball court, as well as, whatever it can do to help them deliver that to the students, to find the gifts in every child, and some might be on the stage building that confidence, some might be on the basketball court, wherever that is. This now gives one more tool in their belt to go ahead and deliver that and help those kids be more than they would ever be anyplace else. So it was to enhance the ACDS experience with an event center. That was it.
Thanks, Jay. Marty, from your perspective as the architect, can you elaborate how did you then take that vision? How is the building intended to be more than bricks and mortar from your perspective?
Yeah, well, I think, as Jay was saying, that a campus is not just a bunch of buildings. It's the teachers, it's the students, it's the administrators, it's the parent and the community that come together to form a school. And as my experience has told me, many schools are handed facilities that no longer really support the kind of innovative education that they like to do. And I think that was true with ACDS. And I've seen it time and time again that really great teachers can overcome poor facilities. But when you pair up a great teacher with great facilities, that's magic. And this was a campus that needed a little bit of magic. So the event center itself is a wonderful symbol. So more than just a building, but a sort of symbol that brings together a lot of what ACDS is about. So when you think about the gifts in every child, you know, whether that's the sports, whether that's the theater, whether that's music, whether that's science, or whether that's some combination of all of those. This building is kind of like the living room. It's the place where all of that happens. All of that happens together. And so it was very important to have lots of windows so you could see what's going on. So the students can see their compatriots doing stuff in there. The doors and even the walls can open up so that flow can go inside and outside. That activity could flow out to the whole campus. So this was really an opportunity to take one of the other guiding principles, which was the idea of that it's 3 schools, but 1 community. So this was a piece that was not just for one school, but for all the schools, and was the one place where all the activity or all the special events and all the participants could come together in one place.
Yeah, thank you. That was very nice. The living room of the campus. You know, so as it came together and as it took shape, how did it come? I'll ask Jay. How did it come to be called an event center as opposed to a gym or a gymnatorium or a, you know, multi-purpose room? Why the event center?
Yeah, a gym had a prescriptive meaning for what it was going to be used for. And even that kind of smelled bad. So the thought wasn't, you know, this is not one place for one thing. This was a place that many magical things were going to happen. And I think Marty hit it on the head. I mean, you put sports in there, and it's not even just for ACDS, it's for us to host others to come in and play sports there. It's to give what was really the beauty of ACDS and the theater program, and the confidence they got from that small stage gives them bigger confidence on a bigger stage. You know, and so those are the important things. But the real reason why it's called the event center is it's not just for the kids. It's for the community to come together. And that's a lot of how I've seen all our friends, our children's of friends, how they've all grown up. It's through the community engagement. It's seeing parents that have created lifelong bonds that have lasted well beyond their kids, you know, graduating from high school and college. And that community feeling is what that event center will bring together, you know, more than just the kids playing sports or being on stage. It's about the ACDS family coming together.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay. Well said. I mean, for the first time, we'll be able to get everybody in one space, which enables that community. Yeah, thank you. Marty, when we laid out the long-term master plan for the whole campus, what led you to advocate that the event center should be built first?
Well, I think it was clearly the piece of the program that was missing on the campus. So there was not a space that could hold the whole campus. There wasn't a big place to play sports or kind of to represent the school. So programmatically was the one big piece that was missing. But I think even more so, going back to the idea of 3 schools but 1 community, I think it was important to start out the program where there was something for everybody. Right. So this was an opportunity not only to express the fact that you're one community and it sort of brings everybody together, but there's something there for everyone. So this was a really strong start to, you know, what is a multi-phase, multi-year program that's sometimes hard to stick to, but you got to start out strong. And this was really the opportunity to do so. I think the other part of that, and as you know, there's sort of a chess game of moving pieces around as the program gets built out, with the major notion that no students should have to live in interim housing for a year. So it allowed us to kind of do the chessboard of the campus to make that happen step by step.
So Marty, over the course of, in the early part of the project, you held a series of meetings with small groups of constituents, teachers and staff members, students, parents, trustees, and you introduced some of the guiding principles of the building that we had talked about early on with Jay's team, the campus team. And then you talked about how those guiding principles played out in some of the features of the facility. Could you talk about that a little bit for us?
Yeah, sure. And, you know, this really goes to how this is really a unique building. So on one hand, there was tremendous support for creating an absolute first-class athletic facility. So we have a facility that has a big main basketball court. There's also a big main volleyball court. It's got scoreboards, it's got bleachers, it's got places for pennants, lights. So sort of all the excitement and possibilities for the team games. It's got dressing rooms, it's got a visiting team room and a home team room. And then it's got, you know, storage for the sports equipment. It's got offices for the sports instructors. So there was this whole group that really was pushing the sports side. And then there was this whole group that was pushing the theater side. And then if you look at the building as a theater, so you have this wonderful auditorium with these beautiful wood ceilings, these giant wood beams, lots of beautiful windows and light around the space. And then you have the stage. So it's a raised stage with a big wood proscenium. And it's flanked on either side by rooms which are dressing rooms and green rooms. It's got a semi-professional theatrical grid above the stage. It's got lighting positions and all the connections for really a professional level sound system. So the second part was this giant idea of creating an absolute first-class theatrical facility. And yet there was even more. So we have the lobby that talks about the spirit of the school with a trophy case for all those trophies that will be coming, the symbol of the school on the floor. And then we have the flex space, which can be a classroom, it can be an extension of the gym, it can be the reception point, it can be a pre-function to the rest of the gym. So there was just so many ideas and so many really wonderful notions of what this place could be. And we were able to sort of wrap our arms around those and sort of bring them all together in this one building.
So I want to ask you, put you on the spot, Marty, and I know that in the time that you've been working as an architect for San Jose Unified and doing, you know, and other organizations, you've built dozens of school buildings. So as you look at the event center, at the Fisher Event Center, where sort of on that, you know, continuum of buildings in terms of like the cool factor, you know, how cool is the event center? Is it somewhere in the middle? Is it like top 20, top 10? Where would you put that on your list?
Oh, I would definitely put it at number one. It's an absolutely unique building. I mean, you're really not going to find a building like this anywhere, you know, certainly in California and maybe not in the country. The sort of combination of features, but also sort of the expression of welcomeness, both welcomeness to the students and the community, and the whole idea of having the community together, And it's really even more than that. As you put all the pieces together, you know, as Jay was talking about it, there are so many things that can be done here that you just didn't have the capability to do before. And I'm challenging to you to find some really cool things to do with this really cool building.
All right, the gauntlet is thrown. Thanks, Marty. Yeah, when everybody gets to come in the facility and experience how it feels, it is a breathtaking. It is a architecturally beautiful, aesthetically beautiful building, very functional and extraordinarily versatile, as you'll see with the moving partitions and the sliding and folding walls and the window walls. It's remarkable.
So this will be the main entrance to the event center, and it'll be a big wall of glass with two big sets of glass doors. And as you remember when we were talking about the master plan, that in the future the theater goes over there, and part of the idea is that this roof overhang will connect all the way over to the new theater and create a big outdoor covered space that can be shared between both facilities.
Grand entrance. I love it. That's awesome.
So when you come into the lobby, the first thing that you'll see is the trophy case. And the trophy case is 8 feet wide, 8 feet tall, 3 feet deep. And so I expect you to fill it with a lot of trophies.
Yep, we're underway. We've got the trophies. Build us the case.
Okay. So when you come in here, you'll see the trophy case. There'll be the donor wall on the right. There's audience restrooms on the left. But there in front of you will be the big circle of the Cougar logo that'll be staying directly into the floor, 10 feet across.
Very cool lobby. And how do people get in? Do they go, which way would they go?
So from here, they might go directly into the auditorium, but probably more often than that, they'll go from here into the flex room. Now, the flex room is called the flex room because it'll have many, many different functions. So it could be that before a game, you'll have the boosters in here for a wine and cheese party, or during intermission, the VIPs will come in here for some special event. Or if you're taking tickets, people would come in here, get their tickets, get their name badges. This is also it can be used as a classroom, it can be the dance space. It'll have the same flooring as the gym. So it can be used for all kinds of different athletic endeavors as well.
So we could also use it, the auction for the casino or for the silent auction. There's so many different possible uses.
And you're still part of what's going on in there with the big glass doors and the campus. That's so cool.
So one of the most important things is as you come in here, you're looking out to the courtyard and you're looking out to the rest of the campus. And so the visibility and the connection between what's going on in here and what's going on out there will be very visible. It's very important. So from here, there's two big sets of folding glass doors here that can be all the way open. So the activity can flow directly in here, or you can also close it off if something else is going on in here.
My gosh, this is so cool.
So when you come into the main auditorium, if, for example, there's a basketball game going, you'd see the main basketball court going right to left. You'll see across the back, you'll see the bleachers and the pennants and things going on like that. And most naturally, your eyes are going to rise up to the ceiling. Now the ceiling, these giant wood beams, those are the actual structure of the roof. And between the beams, we're going to be adding a wood grill ceiling so that the ceiling is really a pattern of different kind of wood textures and different kinds of wood colors. But it's really the kind of notion that we're sitting under a big tree. So those are the giant branches and the little leaves and things like that. It's kind of the big tree that the whole community can sit under all at once.
That's great. A big tree that, volleyballs probably won't get to reach the limbs, right?
You could probably get one up there. So then if you're having more of a theatrical event, you would see all the seating would go out here, and then you'd be looking at the main stage there. So the stage is 32 feet wide, it's 16 feet tall, and it'll be ringed by a proscenium, so the edge of the stage will have a wood frame going around it in this nice light wood. And that'll incorporate a programmable LED strip that'll throw light on the wall around it. So as you look up at the proscenium, it's going to be kind of floating in the air. So it's the idea of the magic frame around the stage.
Great.
That's huge.
Exciting.
It's huge.
So to the right and the left, you have the team rooms and the locker rooms. So those could be boys and girls. They could be home and visitor. And they also serve as the green rooms and the dressing rooms for the theater. On this side, we have storage and offices. And in the corner, we have the servery. So that's kind of like a light kitchen that allows for the repackaging, the serving of food. In the future, that'll be the main place that the students will get their lunches, but it could also be used for intermission, for concessions, or for catering a big, large dining event in the event center.
Marty, this area is huge. This is high school size, is that right?
Yeah, this is a full high school size competition gym.
So not just courts where basketball goes one way, you can have tournaments set up with 2 courts and 2 volleyball courts and
Yeah,
things?
so there's side courts as well, so both side basketball courts and side volleyball courts, so you can have 2 games going on.
Very impressive.
Excellent.
Now, as you go through here, there'll be 2 more sets of those big glass doors. So this can open up, so all the activity and the excitement and the stuff that's going on in the event center can flow out to the campus, and the campus can flow into it.
All right, let's flow.
And so as you move out into the courtyard, this is actually one of my favorite views of the building, because from here you can see all the glass, and that's really part of the notion, is that it's the place to see and be seen. So you can see, students can see their fellow students there, parents can see their kids doing sports, doing theater, doing other activities, connecting with the energy and the spirit of what's going on inside. And so that's where it goes a little beyond bricks and mortar, where it's not just a facility and it is a good facility, but it's really the notion of it's the one place where the whole community can get together in one place. So representing not just each of the 3 schools, but the community of ACDS as a whole.
Marty, you did a great job. For the entertainment that's going to go in here with the drama, with the sports, with the community events, bringing all the parents together. I think this is absolutely phenomenal.
Speech and debate and graduation in 2022. Sure. Yeah.
This is
Absolutely. I agree, Marty. Thank you. And thanks to you, Jay, too. The 2 of you were the driving force behind getting this from a concept and an idea to reality, over the past 8 years. And it really is a 39-year-old dream that has come to embody this event center. So thank you very much, both of you.
I have had such a fabulous time, certainly working with Marty and what I've learned from the adventure, starting with, okay, what's a capital campaign and what would this look like when we get done? And Marty really helping guide us through that. But what the community watching this may not know is that all of the teams, the critical committees that were required to do this, whether it's the finance team, the campus team, the capital campaign team, all these committees are comprised of people like them. They're parents of kids that are still going to school here, of children here, or parents of alumni, and they make up, what has now become an institutional knowledge that's going to help us, carry this forward and not just go through what we're doing in phase 1, but carry into other phases and continue on. So I think we are so much smarter as a community as to how to do this. And I really owe it to Marty for his help and guidance and stewardship to take us down that path and learn how to do this. It's been a great honor and a great pleasure to do this for ACDS, and it's been even more fun to do it with Marty. It's been just a great experience for me.
Thanks, Jay. Marty, any closing remarks?
Yeah, there's a few things I'd like to say. You know, when I think about the notion of the gifts in every child, you know, as you know, I have a son and a daughter. They're both brilliant, at least in my opinion. But they're also really different. You know, they approach the world in very different ways. And each one of them found their spot in ACDS. And each one of them really values the way that that nurtured them and the way that each one of them could grow into more of themselves. So, you know, it's no accident that I've been in education for these several decades now. I've always seen it as maybe one of the most important things that an architect can do is to support the people who support the growth of our children. And, you know, this is, this building probably more than any is closer to my heart because of my kids' involvement, because of Jay and because of you and all the incredible people that it takes to make a building like this or to make a campus like this. And it's, you know, it's just tremendously exciting to be on the cusp of that very first building, that very first symbol, and, you know, the very first step into the campus of your dreams and all the possibilities that opens for you and for all the ACDS kids that are coming. So I'm just thrilled to be at this point.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Marty. That means a lot to both of you on behalf of the faculty and staff. You know, thinking back, this is a 39-year-old dream because we have evidence, you know, in records, written records that they were talking about doing something like this, you know, back in the early 80s. And thanks to your immense generosity in terms of the time and the hours that you guys have both devoted to making this happen, your leadership and your vision. There were plenty of us who didn't know that this would be possible back in 2013. And now the building rising up above our campus proves it. So grateful to both of you for all you've done to make it happen, and can't wait to unveil this amazing building and all that it represents to our community. Thank you.